Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Chase Race presented by WTRL with the AutoCat system. That is one of the main things that a lot of people, I think, don't know about what's going on with the Chase Race. Nathan Guerra here, Anna Russell, Anna. Big day yesterday, big day the day before. Now we're back here again. It feels like it's nonstop, and it's good. I'm loving it's Zwift season, right? It feels like you leave Christmas and now we're into Zwiftness. Zwiftness here be nonstop. WTRL, Chase Racing, TTT, and we've got world champs around the corner. I'm glad everybody's getting their training in.
I was actually lying there before. I couldn't fall asleep last night. It's so hot here. And I was thinking,
dreaming about world
champs course. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's going to be epic.
Of course.
Dad, right?
Anna has a whiteboard above her bed for emergency situations about Zwift dreams.
Yeah, just write it down quickly when I wake up. But I mean, like we were saying before the broadcast started, I mean, Zwift is life during these days of the week, right? I mean, it's just eat, sleep, breathe. You're racing it, you're broadcasting it. It's awesome. It's so good. And I can see the B pen is stacked in this race.
Really?
We've got a lot of races out there. Yeah, there's over 100 sitting in this B. I know the other week it was a little quiet over the sort of holiday festive season, and this is back to big numbers. So looking nice.
Good to see. That's good. That's really good to hear. Well, I did want to jump in real quickly too, just to look at the course that we are on. From this is provided by WTRL. Thanks to WTRL for hooking up the graphics here. We're on France Route a Grande Vitesse, RGV. Ah, man, I was told like multiple times the meaning of RGV, and now I cannot remember for the sake of me what that actually means, but maybe Anna can do some research. We don't have Martin in the background to do our research for us right now. Lap distance, 24 kilometers here, 14.9 miles. It's going to be an ascent of 133 meters as they hit up that little climb on the aqueduct. And then that seems like a lot. Doesn't it seem like a lot? Maybe not. On the one lap. Difficulty says 18 out of 100. I wonder who does those ratings. Where does that rating come from?
I know, we saw that last time. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's hard, but I mean, the difficulty is how difficult you make it. So I have seen here, but I know I've got a French speaker on my team. So Evelyn, if you're watching, if you can jump on in, but I think it must be something to do with speed. So high velocity, something like that.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
I do remember something along those lines. Well, we are jumping right on into some fast-moving C category riders, though, but it looks like these ones have dropped off the main pack here at this point. So I think they've started out pretty quick if they are already starting to get rid of some of their compatriots. Now, quick explanation. I mean, what's going on? Why do we have these blue kits here, Anna? What and then what between all the rest of these racers out here? How are they racing each other?
Yeah, just one sec. Did you see someone actually commenting to you on screen there, Nathan? What I love about this race is people are in the race. People are in the race actually telling you it is the route of big speed, I think, is what he just said. So someone is in the race telling you what it means. So thanks for that.
We're all matchy. They are all just talking to us. They actually just show up so that we can interact with them on the broadcast. It seems we're all matchy.
I love it. It is so good. And yes, they are all matchy. I mean, the blue is it's an interesting color. I'd say it's kind of like an aquamarine, which is a blue that I really love. I kind of always gravitate towards it when I'm getting sunglasses or accessories. I always gravitate to this kind of blue color. So it looks fresh. It looks nice, pairs nicely with that Tron that you can see off the front, that kind of bluish colored Tron. Talking about bikes, not sure the Tron is the best one for today. I would have gone for the Specialized Venge S-Works and taken the disc wheel, same as what you would have used on the Zwift Racing League yesterday. But there's a bit of a sort of whole different raft of bikes out there, so I'm not sure. But yeah, people are going the sort of safety Tron. Not sure. Maybe they're getting ready for the in real life Tron.
That's well, I mean, I think from one way or another, the Tron is just attractive, and you look pretty cool. Well, I mean, you said it was your favorite bike, though. Like that was like a thing recently, right? Like, where you made a full-on swap up. But I have to agree with you on the bike choice. It's definitely going to be the Venge S-Works with the deep dish wheels. For for sure disc wheels, because this is just going to be about speed out here today, and that is the fastest on the flats. A little bit of attack here in the C category. Well, maybe not meant to be an attack. Power ups are enabled here, which I think is a kind of cool addition to the chase race, that you are able to have a little bit more randomization and use those in conjunction with the rest of your group in order to kind of push everything forward a little bit quicker as the C's make their way around. Predictions today, Anna, what are you thinking between all the different categories? Again, everybody, chase race. Each category is racing each other with handicaps. D are already out on course. C's go out course next, then the B's, and then the A's chase them down if they can. I saw some chatter. A's are pretty motivated, what it looks like the YouTube comments are saying.
Yeah, but what I'm looking at here is I can see a split. The A's are about 1 minute 30 behind the B's, but they only started 1 minute behind the B's. So they're already losing time. So I don't think the A's have got it today. Although Sweet the cyclist has come in and said all in on A's. Hopefully you haven't actually put money on that, because you may lose it today. But I think I can't lie, I've got to go the B's. It's maybe too much of a safe bet. There's just so many of them. They're going along really fast, 49k an hour at the moment compared to what we're seeing here with the C's at 43 and the D's at 37. The C's had 2 minutes head start on the B's, and the D's, they don't have much. Usually they've got a lot more than this. They only got 3 minutes head start on the C's and 5 minutes on the B's. And I'm just not sure that's going to be enough for these guys to hold it off. So, yeah, absolutely B's taking it out.
I'm wondering here in the C category, is that really only 2:11? I'm just going to jump around here real quickly. Yep, that's only 2 minutes up here at this point. They've already lost a solid 1 minute. They're only 6K in at this point. They're hitting very quickly here that 1 kilometer distance marker in just a second. So it looks like this C category is going to make a catch pretty dang early. My next question is, what is the distance back to that B category now at this point? Did you say they only got 3 minutes? Is that correct? So then this is going to be them with T Irish there. Tanella's hanging out today. Good to see Rayvon. She just doesn't stop. This woman, I'm going to grab her a 12-step program for Zwifting pretty quick here. But, nice job to Neil here coming out of the US of A. Pennington's here as well. She's been showing up a lot. It looks
really good.
Great to see.
Yeah, this is this group here, the B's, they're just coming with some people who come every week, and that just means they get a little bit more of a momentum, a little bit more of group cohesion. I do wonder if they started to use this kind of group Discord channel that I've seen pop up, but I am as well seeing a bit of chat from the A group. They're not in a positive headspace at the moment. They are losing a lot of time. Someone's on the front hitting about 6 watts a kg, and there's someone saying, come on, stay positive. But unfortunately, they're down to 2 minutes now behind the B's. Not looking great. The D's, I think, they're going to get caught from the front. I think we might see what we saw last week, where the B's catch up to that group of C's, and they kind of just become this huge mob of, green and blue, and take that to the line with a massive group sprint.
Taking a look at the D's close up here for a moment. Very small pack. Be interesting to see what you're saying there, though, about that A category. I'm rooting for the A's today, but if they are getting, it really is about whether or not you believe in the group and whether or not they're going to work with you. If you feel the entire time that they're just, no one else is doing really a whole lot, and people kind of just show up for the group ride mentality of this, that can be one of the most frustrating situations in a chase race for sure. It does look like here, though, we have some solid efforts here being put out actually by this skull here, Vertislow. It says 12 years in his name. A lot of times you do not want to share age at all unless it is publicly out there, just so everybody knows. And he has put it in his name, so we're just reading what's on the screen.
I've seen this rider before.
Great to see.
I've seen this rider before. He's awesome. He's really, really strong. So I can't remember which race it was, but I absolutely remember. It might have been a ZRL or perhaps another, I can't remember, but he's stuck in my head as being a very, very good racer. So I'm not surprised that he is out the front and helping to lead this group, with Elmore helping him out now as well. They've got a nice kind of, this is almost like a TTT kind of situation with a huge group. It's sort of a couple out the front and then a good blob behind. Really, really nice formation here for how this works. If you're watching any of the Prem League at the moment, they do have a really cool drafting graphic. So you can sort of see now from that where this draft is, and just what these guys are doing here is perfect. Sort of a bit strung out at the front, and then a nice group behind, right where that sort of major draft benefit is. So good job, the Ds.
Yeah, liking that they have that little spearhead toward the front. Looks like they're pretty actually. I mean, even though they have a smaller contingent today, it does look like they're very well organized though at this point. So good on them. We'll see if they can hold off. Only 39 kilometers per hour though at this point. They have lost about 15 seconds in the last 2 kilometers. And with a total of we said 25ish, almost 25 kilometers out there today. Most likely going to get chased down unless we see some sort of. We did see a breakaway jump though, the other week there on McCurry Islands. Do you remember there was that jump from the D's up that climb toward the temple, and they tried pulling something off, unable to do so. But I have a feeling we're going to see something similar to that later in the race here, from a couple of these athletes.
That's right. And we never found out if those riders were brothers or what the deal was. Remember, there were 2 that went up the road. They had the same name from the same country. And they kind of hid out from the D group, maybe from the C group. And one kind of dropped and then one got launched forward. So, yeah, it was a really interesting race. We've got a bit of support here coming in from the Ds, from Phil Stapp. So that's good to see. They're really gunning for them, hoping that they can take this out. It's going to be a hard ask, I think, because as we know, the last part of this course gets a little bit rolly. Goes through that les intestines, and it just goes up, down, up, down, up, down. Not great terrain for the Ds. So they've got to make the most of this flat area that they're going through now. They're going to hit the aqueduct, KOM, which is a bit more like a sprint. And then they're going to hit that rolling part, which is very, very hard. I've done a few chase races on this course actually before, and it is really hard when you get into that wiggly terrain.
Looking at the front here for the CCNS Mighty Mallards. That's an old school team. Well, old school over the last 2 years as they showed up in the TTT as well as some of the Zwift Racing League recently. So great to see them pushing off the front here a little bit in this A category. Looks like some frustration, though, in the A category. I'm surprised they're getting a gap because there's some talent here in the A's. Not a huge group, but definitely some talent. I'm seeing Pearson coming out of Sweden, very strong rider that I know of. They actually isn't Pearson, if I'm not incorrect. He's not gonna be wearing the jersey, but there's a name like that I've seen a national champs kit on before, I believe. Boniface here as well. I mean, obviously Brett Boniface shows up anywhere. Going to be very strong crew. 143 beats per minute, maybe putting in a recovery ride after his efforts yesterday for Aseta in the. I believe he raced the Americas East. I'm not incorrect. Maybe it was West. America's West, I believe.
Well, East is the best division, so hopefully he wasn't there.
I wonder why Anna thinks that. Anybody didn't notice, Anna was grabbing points yesterday, and now she's encouraging me to race APAC. I don't know what that's all about, but.
Yep, there we go. We've got to. So what happened is I got my fashion called out. And now I need Nathan to race what I'm commentating so that we can just spend the whole time zoomed in
on my avatar and what I'm wearing. Oh gosh. Actually, we'll have to get some in real life. We'll have to get some in because I'll stream it on my Twitter, and then we'll then you can get the whole thing. We'll see what am I wearing in real life.
Oh no!
Start getting some costumes going. Get a rave party happening. I mean,
please, that'd be great.
Oh, now that they're on screen, look what happens. They start taking these little polls, it looks like, starting to get a little bit of motivation. Is this actually, I'm looking forward, this is actually C category up here that are dropped off. So, no, I just don't think for the A's today, 45 kilometers per hour. What are the B's doing at this point?
The B's are at 47, 48. So they're looking good. And Trish, actually, from Rave, is absolutely captaining the B's at the moment. She's saying, stop spreading across the road. Come on, let's push. So she's motivated. She's sort of rallying the troops. And the thing I like about her riding style is she rallies the troops, but then isn't afraid to jump on the front and take a bit of a lead herself. So she leads from the front. Really, really good. I like that. But yeah, the A's, I mean, they've got a couple of B's in there now. I mean, I don't know if that's going to help them because that's B's who have kind of straggled off to the back and have been dropped. But yeah, we are seeing quite a few splits here with a lot of, there's been a couple of D riders who have now dropped through past the B's. So I'm not sure what's happened to that D group. If there's just the pace was a little too hot for some of them. Not sure, but yeah, it's looking like a B kind of day. The C's also looking okay. I can see Jilly Bean. She's actually a rider I know relatively well from Abs Finesse, presented by Wolf. She's
Oh, is
been
Jillian here
soaked
now?
up by the bees. Yeah, Jilly Bean's in here. So she's a C rider, but now riding, chilling out in the draft of the B group.
Jillian's awesome. Actually met her at Toad, as well as Ryan McGee. They were actually support crew a little bit at Tour America's Dairyland for me. Great to see them
Oh,
hanging
nice.
out, and always. She actually had some pretty good races too. She raced some crits in real life this past year, so great to see that she's hanging out in the chase race out here today. Um, super awesome community, that's for sure, that she's a part of with her team as well. Now in with the B's though, 44 kilometers per hour, currently 47 currently for the A's on the left hand side of the screen. They are actually bringing time back. There's a 1 kilometer difference now at this point. Now it's gone out there. You can see it's kind of edging right there on that 1 kilometer, 0.9, 1 kilometer, 0.9. Will they continue to bring that back and see it now? It matches again. It looks like they're just going to hold on at that 11.3 as it goes out again, 10.3. They're matching essentially, not speeds necessarily at the same times, because they'll be on different kinds of sections of the course. But over the next, they've got 14 kilometers at this point, the A's, to close this down. If they can really put some effort in, I don't know. I think it's doable. But they've got to
So I was actually,
really
yeah,
pounced on this moment.
I was just thinking it's doable in this part of the course where they're going to hit the aqueduct. And then, like I said, the flat terrain kind of stops. It just sort of goes into the rolling. I have seen a few comments from the B riders just saying, like, we've got to stay together. We've got to stay together. So if the B's split, which they're starting to do already, if they split on the aqueduct and become a smaller group, the A's absolutely can catch back on. There's 1 kilometer. They've still got a lot of racing to go. I mean, they're not halfway yet. So we can't lose hope, I think, Nathan. We can't lose hope in the A's. They could get there.
The only thing is, I just see, I don't know. I'm sorry, A's, but the power you're putting out is not A power. Like, this is not A level. Like, I don't know what is going on with the A's and their communication or what, but it's got to be 5 watts per kilogram on the front. The B's are almost putting out more on the front than they are at this point, and it's just not going to happen if they don't. 5. See, there we go. Rich was just pulling 5 to 6. I'm not exactly sure if everyone showed up here to race in this A category, actually.
So, Nathan, do you reckon? I mean, I mentioned it last week. Is it too harsh to call them the ego A's? Like, is it too much ego in the A?
I don't think so,
the
because
B's,
if you watch my live stream of the A category, I mean, my ego gets in the way as well. Like, if they're not pulling and not doing 5, I get pretty like, well, whatever. You guys are jerks. Like, I get kind of like, I get really, it's a race. They get into that race mode, and I'm just like, man, it can get really deflating, And look, Rich is here really sacrificing a lot for this whole crew at this point. And, maybe some of these riders, you give them, they're using the program or the platform for what they need to use it for on this day, and jumped into a chase race, and perhaps that was a tempo ride. But they need at least 3 or 4 here to really put some work in out the front to trade, because Rich and these other guys, they can't just pull 5 all day long on the front.
Yeah, it's not really going to work. We do see the B's on the right-hand side of the screen as well at the moment. They're just hitting this KOM, very short one though, so I can't imagine it's going to split too much. We're seeing a lot of power on the front though, looking at about 5 watts per kg from some of these riders. So this will split, but then they have a bit of a downhill. This is the only chance for the A's that we will have, is if this splits so much that it just becomes little fractured groups all over the road and they lose that momentum. Look at all those feathers being dropped. It's insane. So, I mean, don't know quite what those riders off the front are doing. And you can see in that map at the top too, they've got a lot of C's just up the road. That must be the front group of C's that they've got there. So they've got some people in their sights. And remember what happens every week, but although I have seen Trish calling them out on it, is when the B's catch the C's, they lose a ton of momentum. So that could happen too for the A's. The B's could catch the C's and then just sort of chill out and think they've won the race, and the A's could come up.
Still 1 kilometer difference. It's not really budging here at this point. We'll see if it does. I think it's going to go out actually in just a moment. Boniface heading to the front actually and saying my wheel. And that's, I mean, this is what needs to happen here at this point. Pull 6 watts per kilogram over the top of this. Make sure the rest of the A's just hang on at 4.5 to 5 and punch on the downhill. Because those B category riders in this downhill, they are going to be doing huge amounts of speed. They're going to need to be doing orange numbers to come even close to matching that speed. As you do see 13.3 here, very quickly, we're going to see over a kilometer go out, I think, over the top of this Aqueduct KOM because of the kind of speeds that a group of 50 will hold versus this other group of the A's. So it is a difficult section here for the A's to hold on to any kind of speed against the reality of this B category and what they're traveling at, 61 kilometers per hour currently versus that 35.
So I've got a theoretical question for you. If your A category was just one rider, but that one rider was Filippo Ganna, could Filippo Ganna, as a solo A rider, catch a group of Bs in this race?
I mean, Filippo Ganna in this race going full gas all by himself, and he has a TT bike? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I would think so. I mean, on these downhill sections, he'll lose some time, but on this course, I think there's enough flats that they'll be traveling at like 45 to 48, and like he'll just consistently be 48 to 50 kilometers per hour, right? Because I mean, what's Filippo Ganna producing over this, right? He'll be producing probably 500 watts over the entire 450, something like that. I mean, that's insane speed, and I think that on a TT bike, he could probably hold 48 to 50 kilometers per hour all the way through.
Oh, I mean, that would be interesting. I mean, can you ride it? I know it's not in the spirit of the race. Can you ride a TT bike in this? Because imagine just having someone come in, TT rider, and just full blitz it, individual solo.
I mean, sorry, Nathan, draft out go too strong, even for Ghana, Boniface is saying. He doesn't think so.
Oh.
I mean,
big call. I mean, could we get Ghana on here?
Let's do it. Let's invitation. Yeah. Let's do an invitation. He'll be in the E-pen. He'll be in the E-pen, right? Solo.
Yeah.
And see what he can pull off. I think it's a great idea, actually.
So we've got
take on the challenge. Everybody tag him over on Instagram. Chen with Chase Racing.
Yeah. Someone's got to be a friend of Ghana's who's watching. This will work.
Oh, yeah, plenty.
If not Ghana, we'll settle for say what.
Everybody's a friend of Ghana. I feel like that's like a thing now. Oh my gosh. All right.
We are looking at, I can see the Bs are 26 seconds behind the group of Cs and Ds who have come together. So it looks that time is coming down so quick, though. It's already at 24 seconds. But this is going to be interesting. I actually think sitting here between the Cs and the Ds, they've joined, and they've got a group that is just as big as that B group now. So this could be interesting going into these sort of ups and downs of the course. They're just going to be heading past the balloon sprint kind of area, going through the Les Intestines, and these have strung back out to 28 seconds. So this is where the race is, I think. It's we've got a bit of a slower kilometers per hour, but this group at the front is already onto some climbs. So, and that B group is a lot smaller than it was when it started. They dropped a lot of riders on that aqueduct.
It does look like there's a pretty good. Did the C's catch? Did you just say that they did? They caught all the D's, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yep. It looks like.
It looks like it. I can't see anyone flying off the front. So.
Oh, it's only 200 meters up. You can actually see them almost just around the corner here at this point, between the C and that B category. Those couple of D riders there in the background of the C category on the left-hand side. That's the riders that are just being passed by that B category, I believe. So this catch is very close, 100 meters really at this point that we're about to witness.
18 seconds. Oh, the thing that doesn't look good is there's no chat in this C and D group. There's no one sort of rallying the troops, getting them going. It's not a good sign. Whereas the Bs, they've been chatting and motivating each other almost the whole time during this race. So that's kind of what's making the difference. Love that they've got nice little sort of Z race banners there going by, but yeah, it's
There's the sprint banner. You
oh
can see the sprint banner behind the C's.
yeah,
So
yeah, there they go. So they're almost there, aren't they? Right in front of them. And once they get the eyes on them, that's it. I think game over. But I think some C's, from what I can see, no one's pushing pace. I think they know they're going to get caught, and I think a few of them are just going to sit in and then just go for the sprint at the end.
and that's what I mean. At this point, that's really what they need to do. Look at the. I mean, I love these images that we end up getting of the two packs merging at this point in the background. It's like dun 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 dun. dun.
I know. Yes,
We
you can
have this
say.
like death march coming at this point of the bees. And now we have a lone C. It looks like going off the front here, saying, "Okay, well, if we're gonna get caught. Maybe I can sneak off the front a little bit." It was talk there for a second, but I don't think it's gonna be happening. B category.
Oh,
I mean, they're kind of just dangling right there now. I mean, have they backed off because they know they're gonna make the catch? Is my
absolutely.
question.
Yeah, absolutely. They're riding very slowly now, 34k an hour, kind of dropping back. Oh, yeah. I mean, they're absolutely going to get caught. And you can see here, this is what they've got to do. So the bees catching, you can see Quentin there commenting, push through them. Yeah, so they have to push through, otherwise they're going to carry a whole bunch of C's to the line with them. So, whew, yeah, 3 seconds behind now. This catch is being made. They can't settle in. They've got to go. Haggis is saying, fire torpedo. I love it. So good, haggis. And great name. If you, I haven't actually had haggis. It's a Scottish delicacy. Delicacy might be too generous of a word, but yeah, I do have a Scottish. I am from Scottish heritage, so I know all about haggis. I don't know if it's
Got a
that
little bit of
delicious.
that
I don't know.
too. There's like
Do
a
you?
piece of land that the Carruthers, which is the other side of my family, have still from some sort of royalty over there or something. I don't even know, but I have that. I'm told. I know nothing though about the culture or anything like that. I just always bragged about that when I was in grade school because my grandma told me.
Of course. Well, we have a tartan and everything, so I think there we go. The Ross tartan.
Love it. So the catch is made. The lead group at this point is the B category. The A's, where are the A's? That's going to be the question. As Brett Boniface and the rest of them able to do anything at this point to bring back this time? There's a swelling at the 41 kilometers per hour. Have they chilled out? Is going to be the question. They've got about 4 to 5 kilometers at this point to the finish line. Can any time be brought back? It looks like it stayed at that 1 kilometer the entire time. Let's see if I can find these boys out on course here for the A category and give you guys an exact idea of how things are playing out as they make their way around. We have found them, and it looks
way
like
behind.
it's actually gone further out. It's 1.5 kilometers at this point, whereas before it was only 1 kilometer. The poor A is just not the numbers today that they need. You can see. Boniface pushing 5.4 on the front, but that's been on and off. One rider here trying to do everything, not going to be happening.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate for the A's. And I would have said that maybe this group of B's and C's may have slowed down a bit now that the catch is made and saved some energy for the sprint, but just the power of the group and that churn and little riders going off the front. Look at Pennington here. This is great. She's got all the jerseys too. She's got the lap jersey, the QOM jersey, the sprint jersey. So good to see her taking a turn on the front. These guys, they're churning. I mean, it's up and down. They're still riding 47k an hour on the ups. They're just the group dynamic, right? It's pretty good. I mean, they're stretched out, so they are slowed down. They're stretched out across the road, but they've just got momentum on their side, which the A's unfortunately don't have.
Exactly. It's all about the momentum out here when it comes to the packs. You got to get some more bodies out there. Well, I think that if you had the right TT group, if some super powered A plus category riders showed up and really put a rotation in and really work together, I think that they could be pulling a solid 40 plus kilometers per hour, 45 to 50 kilometers per hour all the way through and perhaps challenge. But I just think the organization just wasn't there, whereas there was enough bodies, but also you saw a lot more agreement in the chatter, I think, with this B category today, which really, I mean, even with the numbers, yes, that's the main thing. But if there wasn't agreement in here and nobody was really putting in any serious work, it went to work there. So, shout out to Tennille and the rest of the crew out here that really was communicating to get everybody moving.
Exactly. I mean, I think if you had an A all-star team, you had Ghana, Van Aert, Stefan Kum, Richie Port. Oh, not Richie. Yeah, Richie Port. Is that the good
Yeah,
TT from Oz?
yeah, he can TT. Yeah, oh yeah, 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 oh yeah, he can definitely TT. I mean,
Yeah. So if
he's
you
not
had that
probably not
crew in
like
there,
the
I mean,
best
yeah,
out there, but I mean, if you're trying to go for
yeah,
like
pretty
Tony
decent.
Martin, no, not Tony Martin, but definitely, trying to win the Tour de France so he can TT, right?
Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, if you had that kind of a sort of all-star team of three, I think they could take this out. But yeah, unfortunately, just the A's must know that. I wonder what their mentality is if you're in that group that's just a bit smaller. You're probably not going to make the catch. I would, like we are talking about before the show, Nathan, I would probably jump on and be like, today's the FTP test day. I'd just go full noise, get the most out of the session as I possibly could, and just be pushing the pace.
Rich still jumping in here, asking the A's to keep pulling. Wants to get at least a workout in or keep his time as close as possible. Look at this is the intestines section. I mean, this is
Les
all over.
intestines, yeah.
Yeah, and I like this the way that the helicopter camera makes you see kind of more of the farmlands and like all the different houses behind this because you don't see this stuff if you don't hit these other cameras.
It's true, and there's a river. There's actually a river next to them. That's quite nice.
Find something new every day out on Zwift.
Yeah, and it sounds like a helicopter, which is quite cool.
And as they make their way through, I think they're start thinking about the sprint now at this point. I am seeing a couple of them saying, they're going to pull in through and not really looking for the win. But this is for the win now. So the gloves come off. They know they're going to stay away. And now it's no longer working together. Now the question is, who wins the race at the end of the day?
Yeah, and this is a hard part of the course. If you look, the watts per kg are really high at some of the riders off the front. And it's very, very hard to stay in touch around these really twisty, turny parts. I've been almost dropped on parts of this course in a chase race just because you can't really rest as much as you were before. And it's sort of a bit of a shock. You're thinking, I've only got, 1,500 meters-ish, 2K to the line, but it is really, really hard to stay in this pack. So you kind of get gassed if you're not very good at staying in the draft right before you get to the part where you need to sprint. So yeah, we can see Daniel Groves there. He's knackered. He's not going to be sprinting. It's I think it's going to be these people we see just sitting in the middle. I'm going to quickly have a look and see if I can get some.
I think he meant pull, and he ended up writing hell instead. And essentially, it's the same thing at this point, I think, for him. So, Jay Alexander from WLC here, one of the riders who yesterday really showed what he was worth in the ZRL for the WLC team. I'd be watching out for him for sure. Saw some pulls here. Now he's backing off a little bit. I wonder if he's going to be able to take down the sprint because he was able to definitely throw down some big watts going into those sprints yesterday. Now back in 41st, though. Is this going to start ramping up? It's right around the corner, Anna.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. I've seen Snowy and Mecca, I think it is, have got very high sprint numbers, 1,200 watts. So they're maybe the ones to watch. I haven't seen their names at all, which means they've been drafting well. They're going to take this right-hander and they're going to be hitting all the way into that. Ori power-up's been dropped.
Power-up's being dropped. Alexander's trying to go. Is he going to be able to come over the top now at this point? Did I select the right avatar, Anna? This is my call here.
Oh, no.
All the way to the line. Molinari, not going to be happening, it looks like, as I believe Molinari from Jet going to take it out instead. Alexander ends up in second. Right behind him, I believe Simon are there from Skylab. Some of the bigger names in esports actually showing up out here today. As we move back to the A category. Well, we got double A category now, actually. As I think they've taken the gloves off as well as they make their way to the line. Brett Boniface as well as it looks like Peel battling it out a little bit here. And this will be an interesting fight to the line with only 3 A categories left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about these riders, but Boniface is a familiar name to me, and you can't go past him. Who is on the very entry-level kind of climbing, sort of almost looking bike. They're probably not going to take out the sprint. We've got the discs there. That's a perfect setup. Boniface knows what he's doing. That's an entry-level setup. So good if they're a new rider coming and trying this format because it won't be easy and that bike will not sprint well. And saying that, he'll probably prove me wrong and totally outgun everyone.
The Zwift crushing daddies. I like this guy a little bit.
Nice.
He reminds me he doesn't have the facial hair on though. So, but he's got that build of the Zwift crushing daddies, the ZCD. That was one of the best teams from the ZRL ever. Where did the Crushing Daddies go? We need those guys back. Oh man.
I love that name as well. But the A's are actually, like I said, it's really easy to get dropped here, but they have managed to get back on. It looks like the pace is coming off just a touch. And Piranha, who we're just talking about, has gone extremely early. I mean, this is, what, a kilometre out? I mean,
Can he hold on to
fortune
this?
favours the brave. He could hold on, I think. He could hold on.
We'll see here. Maybe to the line. Oh, he's even got an arrow power up. This boy is gone.
Oh,
Full gone. Boniface now
wow.
trying to come across here. 13 watts per kilogram, but the jump has been made at this point. And I think Piranha is going to take this down. Boniface here trying to chase it, but look, the distance is just too far. And they're just going to roll,
wow.
though. I think they're all pretty... I think they're all pretty gassed in this solo chase race effort. Like, okay, enough is enough. We did our work. 32 minutes of suffering here at the 33 minutes of suffering. Team time trial, like with the chase race. Good on everybody out there. See if we can get an update on some of the results out here. And if we do, we'll be able to bring those on in for you from throughout the day. But I think our results board just is struggling a little bit out here today, so we might not be able to do so for you. Well, tomorrow
I am seeing
we've
on
got
Zwift Power. Oh, sorry.
go
I'm
ahead,
seeing on
Anna.
Zwift Power. It looked like Molinari from Jet, who we saw taking it out with the Irish flag. And then a Scottish rider. We were talking about Haggis in Scotland earlier. He was second, Johnny Alexander from Wahoo Cole. These are just provisional. And then a French rider, Camille Effray, coming in third. So, yeah, big European contingent out there looking pretty good.
Nice. Well, tomorrow, I want to just highlight that we're definitely going to be here every week with the chase race. You guys keep on showing up, and we'll be hanging out and showing off this awesome new AutoCat system that places everybody where they should be. Need some more. Oh, good to see Brett. Good job, guys. They need bell curve these cats a little bit, and maybe it is also something that is new, and maybe a few of those B category riders maybe coming back to the A's might help out that A category. I mean, John Alexander, I think, is a fairly serious rider, as well as a couple of those others up there. I mean, he's riding for Wahoo Cole, average of 4.1 throughout that race. So perhaps, that's also a part of this is getting those categories exactly where. I mean, a Skylab rider too in the B category. That's some top level, right, Anna?
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe, the algorithms in the background could shift a few of those top A's into a top B's into the A, then kind of even out those groups a little more. I think that would work really well. And then you've sort of got maybe the bottom end C's could move into the D's a little. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's just easy, right? Just snap and switch everything around.
Right. Well, there is that reality too, of it not being just that easy for sure. But everybody, we'll be back tomorrow. I think Anna's maybe joining me for the TTT tomorrow, and that will be live same time as about that we went live today here. If you head on over to any of our channels, you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, as well as Twitch, hit those follow buttons, like, comment. It helps a ton. And we will be back tomorrow for TTT Zwift Racing League next Monday and Tuesday. Other than that, Tour de Zwift is going on. Anna, are you doing some Tour de Zwift?
I am, yes. It's going to be my recovery ride today from ZRL. I'm going to hit the, I think it's the Neokyo Sprint crit course that I'm going to do. The short one,
wow.
a couple of laps of that.
What stage is that? I didn't even know that was.
I think it's stage 3. Stage 3 is called round and round and round. So it's just lots of laps of things.
And then, really?
And then each weekend I actually do the longer ride with my dad. So we do that together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
yeah.
cool.
So he's 71 and I've got him on Zwift. And so every weekend on a Sunday afternoon, we ride together.
That's so great. I love to hear that. And the sprinting's going well, it looks like?
For everyone who is watching with close eyes as to my sprinting journey, Nathan can attest. I got sprint points yesterday. Sprint points.
We used to, so when we first started working together, it was like, what are those watts? What are you doing? How is that possible? Anna was like, I'm never going to be a sprinter. I'm just always a triathlete. And now, here we go. Grabbing sprint points.
I mean, I got to credit. I'm going to credit Christina Grossman, who has actually taken time out of her busy work life to give me some sprinting tutorials.
She doesn't do anything important at all, right? She only manages this huge record company, but Yeah.
I know, but she takes it out and she sits there with me and, has coached me through the timing. And that's the key I found, the timing. I was always going so early.
Yeah, I saw a solid 8 to 9 watt per kilogram finish through, and some of the other riders around you were like 11, but you were beating them out. The timing was perfect. That's where it was
I
at.
know. Yeah.
Nice job.
It's
Nice
good. There we
job. All
go.
right.
Just get some tutorials.
We'll get you right on those. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for the team time trial. As always, everybody, right on.